A rich man ate chicken and rice in a big hotel with his girlfriend every night, while his own children slept hungry at home. But when he suddenly lay helpless in a hospital bed, who do you think came to help him, the woman he spoiled, or the wife he ignored? In the village of Umudike, there lived a man named Okeke. He had a good job in the city and earned plenty of money. His clothes were always neat, his shoes shiny, and he drove a flashy car that turned heads wherever he went. People called him successful, admired his lifestyle, and envied his wealth. But inside, Okeke's heart was empty and cold. Every weekend, he would check into a luxurious hotel and meet Sandra, a beautiful woman who laughed at all his jokes and accepted every gift he gave. Diamonds, gold earrings, expensive perfume, bottles of wine, nothing was too costly. Okeke loved watching the waiter bow as he served them, loving the feeling of power, control, and admiration. Meanwhile, at home, Miriam, his wife of 10 years, faced a very different reality. The 3 children, Chidi, Amora, and Uche, were thin and pale. Their clothes were old, torn, and patched over and over again. Often, they went to bed hungry. Their tiny stomachs rumbled through the night, and their eyes, hollow from hunger, would silently plead for food. Miriam did everything she could. She cooked simple meals with the little money she had, washed their clothes, soothed their fevers, and whispered prayers every night that her children would survive until their father returned from his indulgences. When she asked Okeke for money for the children or for necessities, he would grow angry. "Stop disturbing me. I am tired," he shouted. "Why can't you just leave me alone?" he would snap, as though her simple request for their family's survival was a personal attack. But Miriam never gave up. She kept working, borrowing from neighbors when she had to, and making sure her children had food, even if it meant going without herself. One day, tragedy struck. Little Chidi fell ill. His small body shook with fever, his lips dry and pale. Miriam rushed him to the hospital. She spent days in the cold waiting room, rocking him gently, whispering prayers, and refusing to eat properly herself. Every night, she called Okeke. "I am busy," he said, his voice cold and dismissive. But he wasn't busy at all. He was in a hotel room with Sandra, laughing loudly, ordering roasted chicken and red wine, enjoying himself as though the family he neglected didn't exist. Even Okeke's best friend, Emeka, could no longer stay silent. "Brother," Emeka warned, "you need to take care of your wife and children. Your wife is a good and hard-working woman, she deserves the best. Your children need you. The woman you are spending money on will run away when trouble comes. When the chips are down, you will know who is who." Okeke laughed harshly. "You are jealous," he replied. "She loves me and does not love you. Don't worry about my family. My family is fine." That night, as rain fell heavily over Umudike, Miriam received an anonymous call. A trembling voice whispered urgently, "Okeke is planning to take all his savings and run away with Sandra." Miriam's heart sank. She felt her world tremble. She realized that the woman her husband pampered could never care for him in times of danger. She sat in the dim light of her small kitchen, staring at her sleeping children, and made a silent vow: she would protect them at all costs. She would save a little money here, borrow a little there, and pray endlessly. Okeke would face the consequences of his actions sooner or later. Not long after the warning, Okeke went out to meet Sandra as usual. The hotel room glittered with luxury, and Sandra laughed, her hair spilling over her shoulders. They ordered everything the menu offered. Okeke was proud, confident, feeling invincible. But fate has a way of humbling even the proudest hearts. As he drove back late at night, Okeke, drunk and laughing, raced down the highway. A speeding truck appeared suddenly from nowhere. The brakes of his car failed. Screeching tires, twisted metal, and crashing echoes filled the night. The car rolled over multiple times before finally smashing into a tree. Okeke woke up in a hospital bed, his legs badly broken, his face swollen and bruised, his hands trembling uncontrollably. Panic set in. The nurses picked up his phone and called his contacts while he was unconscious. Sandra was the first contact that was called. "Hello," said the hospital nurse. "Your contact has been in a severe accident. His identity card says the name is Okeke Uzo. Sandra's voice was sharp and cold. I don't know him. Don't call me again. She hung up. When Okeke was informed of the phone call, when he woke up, he felt a sharp stab of fear and disbelief. The woman he had showered with gifts, money, and attention, his secret queen of indulgence, had abandoned him in the moment of danger. He realized, painfully, that all the money and attention meant nothing. The nurses then called Miriam. Miriam arrived immediately. Her face was tired but composed. She looked at the man who had abandoned her and their children, who had laughed while they suffered, and instead of anger, she carried determination in her eyes. She cleaned his wounds carefully, fed him soup, and stayed beside him day and night. Okeke's tears fell freely as he whispered, "My wife, after all I did to you, why are you still here?" Miriam's voice was steady and quiet, but it carried immense weight. "Because I chose to be a good person, even when you chose not to be. And because your children still need a father." During the hospital stay, Miriam revealed something Okeke did not expect. "While you wasted your money," she said, "I sold my jewelry, borrowed from neighbors, and even worked double shifts to make sure our children were alive and fed. They are strong because I am strong." Okeke's heart sank. He had believed love could be bought, but now he saw the real strength, the kind of strength that came from sacrifice and courage, not money. Days turned into weeks. Okeke began to realize that his life had been hollow. He watched Miriam care for him, and he saw how she carried the weight of his failures with grace. Every gentle touch, every quiet word of encouragement, reminded him of all the pain he had caused. One night, while the children slept quietly in a corner of the hospital room, Okeke whispered, "I almost lost everything, my children, my wife, even my soul." Miriam looked at him, her eyes filled with both love and sorrow. "True love forgives," she said softly, "but it never forgets." Okeke finally understood. He sold his car and gave up Sandra completely. He spent the following months trying to repair the damage he had done. He helped his children regain their strength, paid off debts, and devoted himself fully to his family. But even as the family reunited, scars remained. Every time he looked at his children, he remembered the nights they went to bed hungry. Every time he looked at Miriam, he remembered her endless patience and quiet suffering. The memory of his own wickedness haunted him, a constant reminder of the life he had almost destroyed. Yet, through it all, a new bond formed between them. The children slowly healed, laughter returned to their home, and Okeke learned to value kindness, sacrifice, and love over wealth and pleasure. He never forgot that day in the hospital, nor the lessons it taught him. Every act of care he now gave was with humility and gratitude, knowing that true love is never bought, only earned. He also remembered the advice his best friend gave him some time ago, that when the chips are down, you will know who is who. And in the quiet moments, as Okeke tucked Chidi into bed or helped Amora with her homework, he realized that wealth without love is nothing, and that family, the people who truly care, are life's greatest treasure. Moral lesson: neglect those who love you, and you may only understand their worth when it is almost too late. True love, sacrifice, and kindness cannot be bought, only earned.